Happy Sunday night. Happy Dad's Day. Hello, my name is Chris Farah. Welcome to my YouTube channel or wherever you are watching this, honey. I have no idea. I'm actually streaming on StreamYard, which is my chosen platform right now. I really enjoy it. And I'm so excited you guys are here. Thank you so much for joining me on this Sunday Eve, honey. Maybe you had like a celebratory Father's Day thing. And if you did, God bless. If you have a dad in your life, great. Yay to the dads and yay to like the men that, or male presenting or whatever, male figures, the masculine figures that really give us like a positive masculine force. So truly, wherever you are in your relationship to your dad, I'm here for it. And if you don't have a dad in your life and this has been a hard day, my heart's for you as well. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Please like this video if you haven't already. For my peeps, just tickle that algorithm as we get into tonight's episode of 90 Day Fiancé. It is Happily Ever After, Season 6, or Episode 9. And this was a hard episode to watch. Unfun. Not very uncomfy, not fun. As uncomfy to watch as Yara feels going from the shower to a bedroom at Ms. Quen's house because Monty's there. And Monty, yeah, we all know that Monty took a good, long, hard look at Yara's pictures. You know what I'm saying? In season one not season one, of their first season, we saw Monty judging Yara and how she looks, and he had taken long stock of what his son had been doing. You know what I'm saying? And so to have that comment later, we'll talk about it. Feeling very handy tonight. Is that weird? I'm so happy to see you guys. I know it's later than usual. Sorry about that. But I'm excited to see you guys. I'm late. Hello, everyone. You are not late, honey. You are just on time. I haven't even started yet. Okay, I'm going to talk about Libby and Andre first because, I'm gonna hate all of it all the time. It's so fake. I hate her sisters, you know what I'm saying? I hate Andre's shirt, it just brings up a lot of information. Okay, so let's talk about it. Libby and Andre are packing to go to this RV road trip that Libby's dad set up or whatever. And, okay. Andre has a commercial driver's license, and so he picked up the RV, and it's like a normal looking RV for how many people are going into it. Now, for some reason, Charlie and Megan, his wife, who I guess I'm going to have to stop thinking about their OnlyFans and what I've seen of them every time I bring them up, but how, and that's just, I don't know what to tell you, it's not that I'm judging them, but truthfully, when you decide to do that kind of stuff, it's and someone like me who doesn't know you has seen it. It's I can't even the first time I see you, every time I see your name, every time I see your face, when you are not even on the screen, they just say Charlie and Megan flew. The first image is oh my God, what I've seen, and it's bad, so for some reason, Charlie and Megan decide to fly and they leave their kids to go on this RV. I mean, why not pay for the kids? It's weird. Chris, they were having a fit over at Auntie's because Mike has a candle and his house resembles a Confederate flag. Really hoping the show does not join in, as it were. Oh my God, that's so interesting. Yeah, I mean, listen, there's just going to be a lot of, there has always been a lot of conservative viewpoints on 90 Day Fiancé. I mean, Angela came in loud and proud, obviously as a huge Trump supporter, the first season, so this isn't, with Andre's shirt, okay, and because we're going to talk about it, it's black and white and blue in such a way that there has been a politicalization. Yeah, that's the word. Politicalization of the American flag, right? And now it means different things depending on how you see it and what colors it means, right? So this blue black flag is like reminiscent of like Blue Lives Matter. And I do not know if Andre's shirt is that or if it's just a black shirt with, but because it doesn't have the one stripe, but I'm just ignorant. I don't really know, but I just know I'm staring at this shirt the entire time trying to like figure out if it is that kind of shirt. And then it makes me like somewhat, like, it's so weird to me that, yeah, the American flag means so many different things now than what I just remember growing up and what it meant, which is just like, America. I pledge allegiance, so like, anyway, yeah, it's interesting, so, okay, so there already is too many people on this RV. And not only that, we hate all of them. So like for every person, it feels like three other people because it's like they're loud and horrible. So, it's like all her sisters and Libby wants to be like, there's been a temporary truce, for us to like do this or whatever. But like, no, it's not. Like they are mad at Andre from like the get-go. He's like the only person that can drive this big RV, but they're mad at him for that because he gets to like sit in a chair. That's like a big chair to drive this huge thing. I don't know what they thought. Like he was going to sit on like a stool with no back. I don't understand. Like they're so mad at him that he's driving in a seat that the RV comes with. And they're like, why do you keep saying we're complaining? We're not complaining. We're just stating what's happening. It's like every word you're saying, you are the most obnoxious people. Like I want to end the segment now because I'm not going to like get anywhere to you except the fact that I think that they are just the most obnoxious people. And I'm so upset that like we have to spend time watching them or the energy of like taking them in. They are fake. They are phony. And I wish we never laid eyes on them. Right now, comment where that is from. What did I just reference? They're a fake. They're a phony. And I wish I never laid eyes on them. I love you. I love you forever. I already do. Come on, though. Okay. If you can get it. No one's saying anything yet. Lisa, oh my goodness. He was driving so dangerous. I hate this family. I mean, like I love Lisa, you hate Andre. And I do, I have, okay, like I think that people have assumed that I have like, my feelings, my sexual feelings for Andre have like overtaken my, let's just say, like, I guess my rationale or whatever, and that I like sainthood is or saintonize him or whatever, and just like canonize him and whatever, and just like the other ones can go to hell. None of them are great because I understand, is like wearing that shirt, right? And then like in this situation, and he wants to be even more in this situation. He wants to be like inside Chuck's butt, as Yara would say. Like he wants to be all the way up inside it. I mean, and Chuck wants it. It's weird, but there's also a fake. I truly, whatever it can be. I just here's the thing about it. I don't like it. But like at one point I just want to say that Libby's sister is like, I'm claustrophobic. And I thought there'd be like, and she's like, this is not what I expected. I'm claustrophobic. And I was like, girl, you knew you were going to go on an RV with like 45 family members. Like, what did you expect? How much space did you think you were getting? He said RV. He didn't say RVs. I mean, this is the most broke down rich family or whatever. I don't know. Okay, let's move on. Angela. Another uncomfortable situation. Angela has now, in this season, I don't know what to tell you, lost all of her charm, her goodwill, her warmth. It's like, it's annoying to me that it's timed or paralleled with the season in which she has weight loss surgery and loses weight. I don't want to say it's like that because it's not. It's like okay, so one whole thing is this. I cannot stand the fact that she's going to blame smoking on Michael. Honey, you've been smoking your whole life. Like how you've known Michael for 2 seconds in the history of Angela. You know what I'm saying? Like, how dare you? And she's like, basically, well, I did that hypnosis thing and it worked. I didn't want to have one more cigarette, but then Michael made me upset. Now I'm back to pack a day. And as we know, Angela math means that if she's saying that she's back to a pack a day, she's back to a carton a day. We all know this. 1 cigarette equals 1 pack. 1 pack equals 1 carton. That's the Angela smoking math, and I'll like stick to it. Um, I love you guys so much. I can't stand to watch a show, but I'm here to hear you. I'm here for your take. It's like this season is not the best. Like there aren't a lot of redeeming qualities. Like the Mac and Natalie thing is by far the most interesting, and it's toxic. And at this point, this was a weird episode because feels like it should be over, but they're like now dragging it, in such a way. So let's go back to Angela though. I'm like jumping around. Angela's making smoothies right on her weight loss journey, and it's like apple juice, treetop apple juice or whatever, and like having it like a cucumber and like some spinach. Okay, but then the girls come in and she's like, "Well, I'm gonna make you guys try some." They don't like it, so then I'm like, okay. She's like, get some grapes. And I'm like, okay, like get some grapes. And then that's not enough because like her little blonde, that one that like, is her fave. She loves that one. Is like, Mimo, have you tried some grape jelly in there? And Angela's like, great idea, favorite one. And she puts her grape jelly in and they just, like it's the squirtable. I mean, it looks like, it is the grape jelly that is inside Uncrustables, like that kind of grape jelly. Like, I mean, it's like, okay. Because I feel like some people are like, oh, whatever, Chris, it's just fruit, but it's not, right? It's not fruit. Like, it's not jam that someone has like made and you're like, I'm just going to add like a little sweetness and it's like already like, just like sugar and fruit. It's whatever kind of grape Dimetapp clear jelly that's like bargain basement jelly that she just squirts into honey and Nutribullet or whatever it is, and they just like slush it up and they love it. They just like suck it down. It's a great idea. This whole thing, every time she talks to Michael, it's gotten worse and worse, and everything she's saying makes no sense. Like, why aren't you it's like she's complaining that he hasn't been there for her for the surgeries that he did not want her to have, that she didn't really respect his opinion not to get or whatever. He's also in a different country. So like, what really do you want? All we see is this woman that just continually calls him at like the wee hours in the morning and yells at him, berates him. And every time he starts to talk, she talks over him and is just like, I'm over it, Michael. Like, I think of course that's always been there. And I think that obviously we were, like privy to some good times within Angela and Michael too. Like, yes, the abuse has been there. I understand that. Maybe when there were pockets of them together, there were moments where they were warm to each other and she laughed and he laughed and you're like, oh God, they do like each other or whatever. We've had none of that this season. It's really been bad. And in this case, it's like Angela will take no accountability for anything. She's continually smoking, as I said, blaming Michael. She has an abscess in her mouth that like keeps either coming back or going because she keeps smoking and she's wearing this weird ass mask or whatever. And like Michael like called it out. She's like, I don't have to tell you none of your business. It's like, what kind of marriage is this? It's so weird. I mean, of course, what also happens is that she decides, this is the bananas fucking thing, that she's going to track his phone. So she goes to a store, honey, and this poor man has to deal with this, where she's like, I want to track my husband. He's like, it's not an illegal thing you can do. And so for some reason, he decides that like he's going to take her in the back and film a scene with her. And so he decides to be like, well, you can ask him to share his location with you on WhatsApp. And she's like, well, is that is that what I'm talking about? He's like, well, no, because he would know and he has to like actually do it. She's like, well, how about if I pay you double? And he's like, no, it's still illegal. I'm not gonna like be on TV and like take money. And like, how much do you think you're gonna pay me? How much money does Angela have? I don't understand how this woman is made of money. Like, that's another thing. It's like, why is Angela just always just like, I mean, just flaunting her dollar bills, y'all? I mean, in such a crazy way. But so then she's like, well, let's just see if he will. So she calls him, berates him on the phone in front of this man in such a way that it's like, I don't even watch it. I don't even really watch the scene. I can't like make notes for you of funny things she said, which has been my bread and butter of this show. Like all I want to do is like an Angela voice and how crazy she is and just like literally write down verbatim the words she says. But this season has put like a stake in like me enjoying her truly. And this episode, it can't be done. I mean, she like says he's ugly. She says that he has a small dick. I mean, all this crazy shit where you're just like in front of this man who is just at his job. And very much like I hated having to watch this and I wanted to leave the room. I couldn't leave. I was actually stuck there. This is the worst day ever. So then she like goes home, right? And like Skylar comes in and Skylar has just the worst roots of all time. And Skylar is like, well, mom, like I'm with you and I don't think you should have a kid. But like Michael might be just a little upset about like, the fact that you like basically have used whatever money you said you were gonna like try to make his one thing happen that he really wants happen to like not do that. Even though I'm on your side. You know what I'm saying? And like Angela's like, well, I want to be a hot meatball and blah, 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 or whatever. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Except I'll say this. Because I sometimes just really try to give a moment of positivity. This is what I'll just say. In the last episode, right? She had the doc Zoom and she had not worked out. And I judged her for that. I said, that as someone who wants success for her in this weight loss situation, you can't not work out. Like she's truthfully too old to not work out. Like, cause you're just going to like lose all that weight and just be like skin and bones walking around. Like you actually need to like tone up in such a way and make sure like you're also making, you're not like losing muscle density with the way. There's so many things that like, are truly part of this or whatever, especially as she's aging, she's a woman, you have to, and I'm not just like trying to like age shame, you know what I'm talking about. There's osteoporosis and such. And you have half a stomach. And so you are absorbing, possibly less nutrients, right? And so all of, the full spectrum of taking care of your health post-surgery is also like frequent blood tests for vitamin deficiencies and stuff like that. So there's all of this or whatever, and working out is part of it. And and so I will say that she was working out. We saw her at least like having two weights, honey, like doing like this, like that is annoying, so I still truly have to mourn any sort of affection that I've ever had in my heart for her, because she is so truly abusive and truly horrible that like I can't co-sign it anymore, and I don't feel it anymore. It's been long. It's been a long time, like even Angela's like hearty laughs in this season have not come from a genuine place of her being happy, but instead have been in these pockets of her trying to mask over her not doing something right, or like it happened in the doctor scenes, right? Like when he's like, you've been smoking, she's like, hey, yeah, but it's okay, right, doc? He's like, no, it's actually not. I'm actually really angry with you. And she's like, it's just like, it's a manic kind of hearty laugh that now has become like, what is it, her shtick that she does? Like it doesn't come from the place that we used to really enjoy it. So I don't know what to tell you. It's like, yeah, it's not good. And I know that she had been abusive all those other seasons. And I think that, I don't know what to tell you, there was more, maybe just a little bit more of a balance of the human part of her that I was like, yeah, I know that she can be that way, but I saw enough like other parts of her. I was like, ugh, I couldn't be like, of course, in any sort of like friendship with her. She's obviously a very toxic person. I can't even be in public with her. I would never be like, she's not, she's not me, not part of my clan. But at the same time, I don't know, at least I could watch her and be entertained by her. And now I cannot. I've been robbed of it. Oh, God. So I have to like get past this, but yeah, it feels like a morning. He's just like, she's not great. She just really isn't. This is what I also want to say. Sometimes when I watched her in this scene with this customer service person, right, who had just to tell her how to like ask someone to share a location, truly crazy. And she's now talking to Michael and berating him in front of this man that is just like, this is the worst day I've ever had at work. I was like, as a television producer, is this like a prank show where you could send Angela into situations and then like film people's reaction to having to like deal with her? Because I felt bad for that guy. And I truly was like, this man should get paid, honey. Like at the end of this, I feel like she should stand up and be like, just kidding. Here's $1,000 for your trouble. You know what I'm saying? And him being like, this is the craziest day. I mean, yes, it was horrible. But at least I have $1,000. And then he gets to be like a little television star on like pranked by Angela. You know what because at least in that way I could get like get entertainment by it again. That's how bad I, want that. But no, I know who she is now. I see it. And it's just a smoking and unaccountability demon that manipulates people in situations and just like turns it back on them and turns it back on like how she has like hands clean. She doesn't do anything bad. God bless. Thank you guys so much for being here, and thanks for like your comments. I just want to say, I really appreciate it. If you haven't yet, please like this video. Please give it a little thumbs up. Thumbs it up. I really appreciate just, telling YouTube that you're into it, and maybe someone else would too. Okay. Mike and Natalie. So this is crazy. So obviously we left with Natalie, not even talking to Mike, nor talking to obviously Trish. And she's like, I've taken she says, I'm taking my rose glasses off. What a horrible accent. But she like doesn't even want to see Mike, doesn't want to stand next to him. And you're like, oh, this is the end. But it's actually not the end, because then we open and they've bought a pet together. And they're back at the house together, and they're kind of like just sitting around a table talking. They bought a rat. The story goes, they went to a pet store for a dog, and someone came in to buy rats to feed to a snake, and Natalie was like, I must save all the rats. And Mike's like, no, you can save one rat. And so she picked a rat, and they called it Lucky, and that's where we are now, playing with that rat. Why did that tickle me? Just like, what happened to the dog? You don't want a dog? And no cute dogs there? I don't know. I played with a rat once when I was really, really young. I think they're okay. I know people like rats. I'm sorry. I'm not like trying to play with a rat. I think it's just like crawling up like me. I'm just not into it. Oh, thank you so much for that super chat. That's really nice, Marie. Thank you, my little soup sticks. Oh, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. That's so sweet. You're so supportive, and I really, really, obviously see you. Thank you so much. You do too much. I have a bunny. I really want a bunny. No, I think bunnies are adorable. Bunnies are like puppies. Fluffy, fun critters that like will snuggle with you, and you can like, do things. They like, because bunnies don't even have to be in the cage. They can just like be out and about. I mean, I think that they maybe like a dog, like a little like closed cage, and obviously they have to like go to the bathroom there. And truly, you can tell me if they can be house trained to somehow use the cage as a bathroom and not like your carpet, which would be great. But anyway, What's with the rat? The thing is going to, I know. I mean, like, I feel like, did Natalie like be like, well, now that we got rid of, your mom, now that I'm at your mom's house anymore, I still want to be around a rat. It's like she like won't talk about the rat in the room. They're like playing with this rat, and they haven't talked about Trish, but now they're gonna talk about Trish. It's been a week. And I mean, in my mind, I'm like, well, what? How did you even sleep in this? What? You're sleeping in the same bed, just like not talking about how horrible and a nightmare that was? Oh, I know. I just don't believe it. Now I'm going to pick this time to talk about it. And surprise, surprise, does not go well. Mike just blames Natalie, and Natalie for basically being like, you didn't understand what was happening, and this is always what happens, and you hate everyone, and everyone hates you. And it's just so interesting. Okay. This is some tea. Scorpio coming in with some tea. According to Bo and Tamra, Natalie ran over a dog. I had not heard that. That's crazy, crazy, crazy. What I had heard was that according to Bo and Tamra, that this is what that Natalie never cleaned, never wasn't also very messy person, wouldn't cook, so that basically Mike would come home and have to clean and cook. And I don't know if they're saying in such a way like she was super messy and just making Mike clean up after her, or were they basically saying she should have done that as a housewife and she didn't do that? I think that, I think that at some point Natalie was unhappy with her surroundings and just was like, this, I'm not into it and I am going to get out of it. So why put any energy into it? This person isn't worth it. And what she made that decision, it feels like, when she wouldn't say that she loved him. But I cannot tell you, other than the fact that she really leans hard on the fact that she wants to be an actress and journalist, that maybe is that why we've seen Natalie this whole time, because she's just like, this was her chance to be on TV. And Natalie understands last chances. Maybe that's her thing with Mike. She was just like this. And Mike says in this, was it this episode or the scenes for next episode where he's like, you use people, you walk on people to get to places. And thank you so much. And I feel like, yeah, I think Natalie was just like, I'm old. And by old, this is Natalie's mind. I need to have a child. I've already been married. I don't want to be in the Ukraine. I will use Mike to get to America, possibly have a child if I'm just having one. And then she gets here and realizes how unexpected Mike's actual surroundings are. And then she's like, okay, well, at least I guess to be a 90 Day Fiancé, I'm kind of a celebrity. This is her third season. Look at her Instagram. I mean, she's not not on Instagram. And we would not know this person if she wasn't on this show. And listen, actress / journalist. I see you. I get it. But yeah, so at this point, I don't know if she, whose dog that was, if it was Tamara's dog, whatever happened to the rat, honey. But I did hear that she also moved to Florida and that she is on the single life. And yeah, Scorpio's going to send it to me, which is great. But yeah, so we're going to get Natalie, more of Natalie, honey. Single girling it up, she's I think gonna be like the Fernanda. And also, if you've been following her on Instagram, she lost weight. Well, she did. I didn't put that in quotation marks. She lost weight. However, I also think that Bo and Tamra, I don't know why I call her Tamara, besides the fact that she was like, oh, she never cleaned and she was really messy and she never cooked. They also said she got liposuction, I think, which is a lot of spilling her tea. Now, I don't know if she got liposuction or not. Maybe she did. But at the same time, how would she pay for it unless It was like what we always see, which is like a tagged, sponsored Instagram post. Unless I had missed that and she did. Only because how am I to believe that woman's gonna like pay for liposuction in America when she would not just pay for one hotel room one night after driving from Squim to Seattle? You know, I'm talking about from the season before. Like, and I always want to know, like, what is it with Trisha's give her $5,000 and have her go back to the Ukraine? What is the $5,000? Hush money? Money to relocate? Just like get out of my hair money? Shut up money? I love you guys. Thank you so much for reminding the peeps too. Thumbs it up. Ugh, look at this beautiful picture. Blondie. Her lost weight, what weight? Yeah, Natalie, I think she said herself that she had gained weight when she got to Squim. So I think that she was lost weight and then to be like single and hot girl summer. So that's what it's supposed to be. But she is now also packaging some sort of meal plan, workout thing on her Instagram. God, it's just, there's such a formula for, internet, Instagram stardom. There's just so many niches, to like hit for like that payday. It's just so interesting. Okay, my loves. Next is Tiffany and Ronald. Tiffany and Ronald, and I'm like, I feel like did I miss anything, Natalie? No, like they just like fought. Basically, Mike thinks that his mom didn't call her hooker, and she says that she called her a hooker, and then she like at one point says she's sorry, but like that is basically don't agree on anything and shouldn't be married. Tiffany and Ronald, Tiffany gets to South Africa, and Tiffany has a ritual when she gets to South Africa in the airport that she like lands in, my God, and it always has the same bathroom and the same stall. She goes in and gets her like a little refresh. Honey, she's been on that plane for a second. And we get Ronald, who's in the car with his mom. That's not how he says mom. They have a different accent. I cannot possibly do it. And the dad is in a different car because they got to bring the kids and everything they know. Luggage is big and, car small, and we got to have some room, my loves. So they're waiting for her to come out. Tiffany, I'm so sorry. I have like a little like scratch in my nose. Tiffany is getting primped. She comes out, and there's a sweet moment with this. Like Ronald wants to know, like, in his heart, truly like if Carly, his daughter, will like know it's him and like what that reaction will be, and I think we're kind of like also waiting for that. He knows that Tiffany doesn't want to stay in South Africa. She's made that perfectly clear. And he wants her to stay. And he also knows that Daniel, who is his boy, doesn't want to also stay. So he's trying to do the best he can to create the life that he wants, which is his family there, him to be head of the household, and to be able to make a lot of decisions, financially speaking, with the trust that Tiffany can have in him, that he's not unstable and able to do things. Oh, God. She's holding her breath to get off the plane every moment to like see if he got his act together. In the preparation for them to come, he decides to turn part of his garage into like a room for Daniel. He just puts up drywall and just like paints a room. Look, when we saw the room, it was freshly painted and it needs, like some carpet or something. It was kind of intense. It looked like an installation. Like I was like, I don't know, it's almost too blue. Like I like but I think maybe for kids, okay, I think I would have to like go in and like put some carpet down, honey, and just like some glow in the dark stars, like maybe like some light, like one of those like, like night lights. Have you seen on Twitter, like anytime or whatever, it's like this, I don't know if this still is a thing, but whenever you saw like a top tweet on Twitter or like a tweet that was getting a lot of retweets, there would be like an ad for some Starry Night consolation thing. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. Oh, Scorpio, honey. Okay, I'll go in. It's like you need like so like if you're gonna have an all blue room like that, you need something like that to kind of like give it something, like it looked like, I don't know, like a art piece without any sort of like furniture, art on the walls, some sort of like baseball bed or something like that. Now, I love that Ronald's like, don't worry, we'll get you a bigger TV. I mean, kids like a TV. Kids like devices. Kids like Nintendo Switches. So going back, Carly, I think, knows that that's her dad. She like looks at him, she allows him to pick him up, like that's a cute baby. And that baby is like in that perfect like potato sack mode, where she just, you can just like pick her up and she like wants to be picked up and she's just kind of like hanging out there. And she's like sturdy enough that you can kind of like swing her around on the hips. Like, I love a baby like that. It's like the perfect kind of like, and that baby always wants to be held, that kind of baby. It's great. So, Tiffany is day one impressed with how things are, how Ronald has made things. And we're happy about that. It's just that, and how do I say this? We all know it's not good enough. We all know it's not good enough. It's like a baby step. But you have a baby who like is about to take her first steps. So by this time you got to make like dad full leaps, dad jetés. You know what I'm saying? It's been past like some baby steps. He also has a very problematic conversation with his friend before Tiffany comes, where his friend looks like he should be on an episode of Love After Lockup, honey, and he just got out of prison. That's what his friend looks like. And the friend and him is like, well, what are you going to do, mate? I don't know. Because Tiffany doesn't want to stay. And he's like, oh, she'll stay. I'm going to make her stay. I'm the man. She's going to do what I want. And we're like, mm-mm. No. Mm-mm. No, nope. Mm-mm. Wow. This is like, this part scares me. I don't know what to tell you. Okay. I always wanted to say, oh, I love you so much, dog trainer. Thank you so much. Oh, amazing. Tiffany's nuts. South Africa is amazing. I want to hear more about that. I think that South Africa truly might be amazing. I think that Tiffany just has like the Ronald level of unease and instability in a country that is foreign to her, if I was to probably assume. So Tiffany is American and wants like her apartment that she just spent all that money to like outfit with like, mirrored top bed dressers and like gray glam looking comforters, like duvets. She wants carpet and she wants like that fake granite looking top for, the kitchen. Like, I'm talking about. She wants subway tiles. She wants that look. That's what she has at that place that she just got. And Ronald's place is never going to have that look. She's never going to be happy there. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, that's it. And Ronald thinks that he is going to talk her into it because he's made progress and that he wants it bad enough. And his mom is looking at him and saying things to him subjectively in her mind. Look how far you've gone. A year ago, you were in rehab and now look at you. So he has like that kind of woman saying that to him. And he's like, right, mom. And then for someone like Tiffany to come and be like, this is good. This is good. You know, and you can see kind of in the fear in her eyes how she's just like, and I gotta get the hell out as soon as possible. Like that she's not gonna ever truly accept this and how hard that is and the resentment that it can build. This is a scary, this is like a potentially dangerous couple to me in that I feel the unease that like in Tiffany's mind, the only success is if he gets to America. And I personally am like, okay, I get it. I get that. But that's like, he has to get to America and then still do a whole bunch of things right. The getting to America is like a deal breaker. And then there's still then other like 10 other deal breakers once he gets here of like whether he can maintain his gambling sobriety, if you will, and I'm sure that's not the best way to say that, or whatnot, his financial like stability or whatever. And we all know it, right? We're all like, well, this is never going to work out. Where it's never going to work out, Tiffany, and we get it, Tiffany. It's very nice and lovely that this man loves your son so much, like a father should. He loves this son of yours. And it's very, very nice. And I wish Daniel like the best life ever. I could cry, and I want him to have like a happy life and a masculine dad in his life. I mean, like a father role model, like a father or a masculine force or whatever, like, you know, that dad and like my boy, like that energy. Obviously, Daniel loves that energy from Ronald, and Ronald loves giving that. Okay. That's like an aspect that you can't like put a whole relationship on. When Ronald and Tiffany saw each other, they like kind of kissed, you know, and God, it didn't feel like that kind of like love or romantic love or even someone that like you haven't seen in a year. It just felt so. And even in the, I'm sorry, I can't like put words to it, uncomfortable, awkward. And in her confession, she says it was nice to hold his hand and things like that. Like, I just don't get the idea, of course, that they're meant to be together or that they have a future that bodes well. And so there just seems to be like waiting for the whatever the rug to get pulled up, or we're just waiting for the bottom to fall out, whatever the phrase is, to be like you are just. I mean, and I'm obviously potentially scared to hear what happens when she wants to leave. And she wants to leave immediately. In the scene, she's like, I want to leave. It's like day 2. And Ronald's like built a whole room for Daniel. It's just, and now it's like, I just feel like Tiffany, you keep prolonging this situation with Ronald and Daniel. We were teasing both into thinking that they'll see each other and know each other for the rest of their lives. Now, having said that, I do remember that Carly, of course, is Ronald's child, and so Daniel could see Ronald for a long time, but the way they talk, which is that Daniel's like, I'm not going to let Tiffany leave, and I wouldn't let this happen, and I'm going to fight for this. I just feel like, and maybe this is my whatever, like little trauma, you know, I have like divorced parents. I understand how things can work. Like, is he just going, like, they're just going to divorce and he's just going to like, try and sue Tiffany to get her to stay in South Africa with his child and not like in some sort of like custody thing? Like, this just scares me. Is that what it is? I mean, for people that have international divorce things like that, like how do you pick where the child goes? I mean, in this case, Tiffany is the mother, and maybe you could say that Tiffany is more stable than Ronald financially, and so would Carly then just already have primary custody with Tiffany in a different country, or could Ronald then also sue? I mean, this is just potentially messy, okay? God. At every juncture, she should have just chosen not to do it. And she keeps maintaining this cord. Because if she hadn't gone back this time, you know what I'm saying? I don't think she saw him in a year. I think that relapse happened, right? Tiffany could have just been like, Ronald, this was a relapse. I told you no more. I love you so much, and I will be here with Carly, and anytime you can get your ish together and get your life together and come visit your child in America, you will always be able to come see her. But Tiffany decided to keep this relationship with Ronald after that already relapse that she had already known him to, come back from. And then obviously go to South Africa in this moment, in the middle of COVID. This makes me upset. Okay, I love you guys so much. Sir Anthony, and I'm gonna bring you, I can't bring you up, but I do want to say, like, my God, what an amazing avatar picture, main picture. That background is Pops. I mean, dapper AF in that suit. Is that you? I mean, Sir Anthony in that picture, you certainly are, sir. You certainly like command respect. My goodness. What a lovely man. Okay. I don't even know what to say. It's depressing. This episode is depressing, right? There's just so much uncomfortability and depression. I just really can't deal. So let's move on. Yara and Jovi. So Yara in the beginning of this is weathering the storm, honey. The weathering the storm of the fact that Jovi had to go to work. The job that he's had this whole time, that she knows. That is this job that he gets paid to do, and the ramifications is that he's gone for a period of time. And I don't know why Yara keeps complaining about it. She wants to be like, he should have planned it better. Like, I'm in this country and had a baby. I don't know what that means. I feel like in her mind is like, oh, he should have planned not to go to work until Mila was a certain age. Like, is that what she's saying? Is it because she thinks they have enough money that he just didn't have to go to work while this baby was diapering and whatever and all of the stuff? Listen, or I keep thinking that at some point that she's like angling for like not wet nurse, like a nurse or something, like an au pair. Like I keep thinking, like, is it that she wants help in the apartment that they live in that's not Miss Gwen? Like, I don't know. She just keeps complaining about it. It's truly crazy. It's like the same thing about like, okay, well, you're in an RV and you decided to do this, Libby and Libby's sisters. Like at this point, like, what are you going to do? So, Yara being at Miss Gwen's, dealing with the hurricane passes, everything's fine. She wants to go. I get that. I like Gwen or whatever, but like, I don't like Monty, and neither does Yara. She never has, okay? And I already said this in the beginning of this, and I'll just talk about this now. Here we have a situation where Monty talked already about the way that Yara dresses the first season of us knowing them, which was last season of 90 Day Fiancé regular old. And we're just like, why are you paying attention to that? Who are you? You're an old man. You're the dad of the person that she's dating. He's looking at her pictures. Why are you? And why are you opening your mouth and talking about it? Yeah, she's hot. Yeah, she wears good clothes. Yes, look at her. Yes. You don't have to say it. But because he said it now, Yara has a baby and does not have an en-suite bathroom at Joey's parents' house. Now that's just... I get it. I'm not saying that that should happen, but because you don't have an en-suite bathroom, you have to like cross a public domain. And I don't want Monty's leering eyes on sweet Yara. She's not sweet, but angelic looking Yara, sharp-tongued Yara. Okay? She doesn't want that either. She wants to go back to her apartment with her white rug, honey, and her, Dyson, my love. So she does. And also, and I love me some Gwen. I really have enjoyed Gwen. Gwen is also like very opinionated. Like she's like, well, you can't Uber with a baby, which I mean, sort of remind me of that part of like, you can't bring a baby in a bar. It's the modern day version of that. And can you Uber with a baby? Is that faux pas? Can you Uber black car with a baby? Can you Uber Lux with a baby? Is there a baby Uber? Like like a Cadillac Escalade, like a Lincoln Navigator with like a built-in car seat. I'm not quite sure. I saw a black badge today, which is Rolls-Royce SUV. There's like the Bentley Bentiaga, and now there's the Rolls-Royce Cullinan, and the fancier version of that is called the black badge. Anyway, so Yara's like, I'll decide what's right for me and my love. Okay, you got it? Every time that Yara like stands up for herself, it feels like I have stood up for myself. Like every time Yara like shows me her like powerful womanhood, I am inspired. Anyway, so she goes back to her apartment and then she gets COVID. I mean, just gets it. She has a baby and COVID and a baby. And this is interesting. And I never thought about this. And so this is like so interesting how women work and how human bodies work. She's alone. She has COVID. She has a brand new baby. She's like, what do I do with this baby? Her pediatrician's like, you can, breastfeed the baby. She's like, when you're talking about breastfeed the baby, like all my COVID's going to go in my breast milk into the baby. He's like, actually, no, those are called antibodies. And it's a perfect thing possible because then you'll just like make so that your baby has a thing to fight COVID. And she's like, huh, so she does. And she gets past it, I guess, all by herself. And, yeah. And then she talks to Jovi and then she's like, you should be here. And Jovi's like, I cannot. Yara. And she's just like so upset that she didn't like get a man with a normal job. But you know what? Join the club. It's really hard to find a man with a good job, my love. And if you want to get, white carpets and Dyson dryers, sometimes your man's not going to be home for a month. Listen, the COVID thing is annoying that he has to be gone for like truly 2 months, and it's crazy timing. But this whole situation was crazy. Yeah, Lisa, science is nuts. Kalani and Asuelu, uncomfortable, okay? Uncomfortable. So Kalani this whole time has been like, Asuelu, you need to communicate more. You need to like show me that you like are into this relationship, you need to be romantic. And he's like, all right, baby, I'm going to allow your sister to come this season and I will like welcome her with open arms. I'm going to cry about this. I'm going to like do everything possible to like tell you that I'm into it. Okay, baby, I'm going to take you on a romantic trip. And Kalani decides at every turn to try and ruin this trip. She's like, oh, you're going to take me on a romantic trip, you say? Okay, we have to bring my mom and our 2 kids. Oh, you're going to take me on a romantic trip, you say? I hate it here. This is disgusting. This isn't where I want to be. And why'd you pick this place? Oh, you want to take me on a romantic trip, you say? I didn't sleep well because you decided to have the kids far away. I had to keep trekking back and forth to feed the baby. Now, here's the thing. I just feel like there was a better way to deal with this. I don't know what it was. If is it that sometimes that young of a baby just like only will have its mom? You can't just like feed that baby some warm breast milk that's already been pumped from a titty. Is that what it is? I do not get it. I do not get it. Anyway, they have like romantic, whatever, like fireside chat or whatever. And she's like, cool. This is good. And this is the best communication we've ever had. We came up with this new thing called like, we'll say the word assy or affy or whatever it means fire in Samoan. And like, now we have that special joke in between us. And like, I'm going to ruin it by telling you that I went to go see a divorce lawyer. And then he runs away and cries because his name is Asuelu. And then he comes back and is like, will you hug me? I feel bad. Now that part's cute. And she does hug him. And they get over, I guess, the fact that she wanted a divorce. But I just can't believe this woman like was like taking a romantic trip. And then he really tried. I mean, especially for someone who like is new to this country. You know what I'm saying? Like he saw the words cabin suite and thought he had done so well and then picked the romance package button where they put a bunch of, you know, roses everywhere. And he just kept being like, look at the roses. I did. I don't know what kind of accent that is, you know? But yeah, I mean, so this whole season I've been like, what's gonna happen? I feel like Tiffany and Kalani have a similar situation, and I take that back because I think that Kalani has a much better situation than Tiffany. But I want to hear what you say. I think you're gonna agree with me. Tiffany has it worse than Kalani. I mean, unless Tiffany comes back, honey, and then divorces him, honey, and then like doesn't have to get dragged into international children's custody court, because then again, then she would be in America free to do whatever she wants without like beholden to some child man. But in this stage we are in, at least Kalani has like a Swelu who like, well, who's done more for their family? Ronald or Asuelu? Who can create more stability for their family? Who has and who is currently? Because it's confusing how much they're both to compare them to. Because Asuelu's in America, and so he's making whatever he's making in America. Ronald's not, right? Ronald's in South Africa, and as we've realized through them saying like the money, you know, currency trade is just not the same. So the money that he's making in South Africa is just pennies to the dollar of American dollars. So it's actually very hard to compare that situation. But I guess truly, so this is me going to ask you, like, what do you think? Who do you think has it better or worse? Whose situation would you rather be in? You're like neither, but you know what I'm saying. Gosh. The Tiffany thing is just the Tiffany thing makes me feel like I'll just choose to be single for the rest of my days. Because it's the worst possible, I mean, to me, situation. And I would be so uncomfortable and scared in it the whole time of like what could happen. I cannot imagine being in a relationship that hangs on, I need this man to get to America or everything's going to fall apart. And if he gets to America, that's only 1/10 of my problems with this man. Okay. Kalani has it better. Kalani has it better. Asuelu is Mormon. Ronald. Okay, this is what's confusing to me. What do you mean? Okay, Kalani was Mormon, right? Growing up, but she's not anymore. So wait, Asuelu is Mormon? Marie, what? Is that true? Oh, I think we're making a joke. Okay. Tiffany, very serious. Asuelu not planning a kidnapping. Ha ha ha. They're insufferable. Choo hoo hoo. Yeah, like, yeah, it just makes me feel like what an interesting time in which, as a female, I, for some reason, can just, if I want to, just freeze eggs and or get sperm and just have babies and just be like, well, I'm not going to be in a relationship with someone who I feel like can bring a stable parental force and the complement of what I need as a mom. So I'm just going to like entertain this boy men because I got stuck in situations where they either fell in love with my first kid and or I got knocked up by them. And then I got knocked up again by them for the second time, or sort of the second time, if you know what I mean, in Tiffany's case. Okay, I mean, I just like keep thinking about it and I just keep like it keeps scaring me. And I can't even really verbalize more than I have, and I feel like I've talked long about it. But the relationship isn't for me. Kalani has a tiny bit of hope. I think so too. I think so too. Um, Kalani has moments of happiness with Asuelu. Yeah. Yes. Every man on this show is Peter Pan. Yes. Yeah. I referred to someone I had dated early in COVID as a Peter Pandemic, and it made me really funny. It made me laugh, which I guess is half the battle. Yeah, okay. So in this previews, we get to see more Libby and Andre drama, and then we get to see Chuck cry. Okay. Am I looking forward to that? Double hell no. No Brandon and Julia, which we didn't miss them. Natalie just absolutely bringing her bag out, and I'm just like, who's driving her now, my love? It's just Tamara in that truck again. Like, come on, Natalie. Is it Trish? You know. What a season. I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like there's going to be some surprises, hopefully, or some unexpected things. But I did not like this episode, as I said. It wasn't fun to watch unless I started, for some reason, now that I've absorbed it and marinated in it, yeah, this episode wasn't great. And everyone feels toxic. And I feel like love isn't real. And I don't believe in relationships. That's how I feel after this episode. But I know that might pass. And yeah, it's just dark. That's how I felt. Great intro for Brandon. Absolutely. Yeah. Other than that, how's your lives? How's everything? What else are you watching? Anything great? I caught a glimpse of some makeover show that happened on Discovery Plus after the episode was done, and it was Clinton from what watch what was that show with Sarah with no, What Not to Wear? And it's like a new dating show where he just kind of berates women, and then there's like some nice other girl I've never met before that like looks over their dating profiles. And I think I got to a place where I'm like, I don't want to hear some dude just like, even, I don't care what his sexuality is. I don't want to hear some dude like tell women that they're not doing it right. I'm just over it. I don't know. It's a weird show that came. I mean, you know what I don't know if you know what show I'm talking about. I think it's only Discovery Plus. But it had like a negative tone where I just was like, ugh, I don't want your opinion. Let this woman live. Who do you think you are? Why do we have to listen to you? I don't listen to no man tell me how I'm supposed to live. Last week was fun. The Utah adult store. This week was Toxic Flack on Prime too. Okay. Adir was talking. You kind of crazy Adir does that. Ha ha ha. Last week, this is this one. Last week was fun. The Utah adult. You're right. It's almost like when the producers like put together this episode, did they like just watch it and just like, oh, well, this one's theme-ish, well, just shit. I don't know what to tell you. Like, yeah, they didn't do a good job of like doing any sort of like fun parts. Like they must have put together this Angela season and being like, we're going to implode her. Or they didn't have anything to work with because she truly is that horrible. Yeah, I mean, I can't even obviously even get joy from her and her like grandchildren scenes. Every time she has like scenes with her grandchildren, all I think is like, oh my God, they're gonna be raised. Her being raised like what, to be little mini Angelas? To like have that entitlement, but also like never take any responsibility and then just like see someone smoke all the time and put grape jelly into his movies. But at the other time, am I just being somewhat judgmental and are they being raised with all their cousins and a bunch of love? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm in a weird place where I'm just like, ugh, I don't like this show. I don't watch television, but somehow the algorithm wrote me into 90 Day Fiancé reviews about a year ago. You don't watch 90 Day Fiancé? Or please tell me that you at least watch it. At all, you don't watch it? Like, you just watch people talk about it? That's fascinating. You can't pull on no more, Michael. Michael's situation. I mean, I can't believe that he didn't like hang up on her a billion times in those phone calls. Because she would just call back. Then he called back. It's so crazy. Yeah, he's out. Okay. That is it, my baby boos. I'm going to call it a night. It's 11:22 p.m. and I'm gonna wash off makeup and I'm going to turn my mind off. But what a night it's been. And now that I've talked so long and so rather intensely about how much I didn't like this episode, I'm like, oh, was I too negative? Are you just sitting here being like, why is this girl like so negative? If this is your first night with me, it's like, this just was a bad episode. I mean, there just wasn't a lot of like great parts to it. It was, in fact, kind of awkward and uncomfortable. And especially when you're just like, none of these couples truly feel like there's love between them. And I don't think they should be together. And Libby and Andre just faking everything. So, but other than that, because this show is not the actual world in which we live in, we can just, close our minds. We're going to have a great week. I'll tell you that. We are getting to that summer. I don't know where you are, but I'll tell you it's been a little June gloom where we are. But I think that, there's most often, at least in America, COVID cases are down. So I think that people are slowly enjoying some life normalcies and a return to hopefully some social interactions with people, especially if you got vaccinated. And so I think that can stir up some anxiety as people like, oh my God, what it's like to like be around people again and have social commitments. And so I think I've talked about that, and that definitely has happened for me. But at the same time, I think that we just get to sort of like bring a new and improved version of ourselves that we have cultivated during this time into these social situations. And I think that while we introduce this somewhat newer developed or like evolved person under the stress, the little diamond in between us that evolved under the stress of this pandemic and staying at home, um, you know, just know that we have the ability to go back slowly and not go back entirely to things we don't want to anymore that doesn't serve us. I think that choice is always available, and I think that's why I spent so long kind of like digesting why I kind of wish Tiffany did not go back to South Africa, because energetically, of course, it extends a connection that feels like it's not serving people healthily. And so, but like, isn't that a thing that happens in a lot of relationships? I mean, like in a situation of, that could even be as like as cut and dry as like talking to someone online that you're dating or whatever, that you maybe like met on a dating website or whatever, and this person maybe you went on one date with and he ghosted you or she ghosted you, and then like they creep back up in a text 5 months later, and you're like, no, energetically, I'm not going to engage with you. The energy exchange prolongs a connection. That's like a micro detail of what also is on the bigger scale, like the Ronald Tiffany thing, but also in what I'm talking to you now is the energetic connection of we all had this time away from all these people. So you got to really think about the relationships in our lives to people, places, and things that did not serve us or we feel better without, right? And sometimes if you don't know if a thing is that, just think about how you feel thinking about spending time with that thing, people, place, or thing again. What I'm saying is, if you start to feel anxious or to meet up with someone, sometimes that is your gut giving you a warning sign. This person isn't for you, that energetically it just isn't. And as much as you try to ignore that, It doesn't serve you or them. You know what I'm saying? So I love you, and I really appreciate you guys. I know it's a late night, but yeah, that's what I wanted to say. We all have the power to like use the pandemic and the people that we are now and this time to reevaluate and balance our lives, make sure that we're like living healthily in a lot of ways. And that's all I have to say about that kind of stuff. But other than that, I want you to have a great week. I want to have a great week. I want there to be like better episodes of 90 Day Fiancé for us. And I want Angela off the show. Dog trainer, you're still here? Easy, you're gonna go to bed. Okay. I just come for impressions and accents. Lisa, I know, but you just come for a lot of like life talk too, my loves. Okay, so here we are. I agree. Thank you so much for my super chat. Marie, you're the best. Thank you to my mods. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you just like always being here, holding it down, saying hi to people in the chats my mods do, thanking them for super chats, reminding people to thumbs up the video and subscribe. I mean, my gosh, what beautiful people that I've just like cultivated relationships with in this YouTube platform. It's so crazy. Okay, so how am I going to end this? On Instagram and Twitter, I'm at Chris L. Farah. On Facebook, you can find my private Facebook group, Vanity Farah, where I mostly try and post or give a heads up when I'm going to go live. And on Thursday nights on Just Call Me Wah's channel or Wahima's channel, we do the pop culture talking head thing at 8. And that's mostly just us bringing up topics of the week in a very friendly format, casual, and just like letting them letting those topics breed other conversation things. We're not trying to educate you on what's truly happening, in the sense that a journalist was, or, a Natalie trained journalist. We are just talking. And those are the ways you can get more of me right now. That's all I can give you, though. Okay. Take care of yourselves and each other. Stand up for what you believe. Make art. And if you're me, overdraw your lips. Okay. I love you guys, truly. Thank you so much for being here. All right.